Hello and a very warm welcome to ET Auto and to this very special webinar which commemorates International Women's Day. And the theme of this webinar is pushing the boundaries by women across societies around the world, and also the technological boundaries that the automotive industry has. And rightfully so, we are calling it the title of this webinar as Women in Tech. And talking about the theme for the International Women's Day 2025 globally is Accelerate Action. And in India, there's a specific theme for India as well, which is Viksit Bharat with Nari Shakti. For those who do not follow Hindi, it translates to a developed India with women power. So it's a great virtual session which we'll have over the next hour or so, and we have a very esteemed panel of industry leaders from representing the tech space, and these they are professionals who are shaping the future of the industry, and in their own right, they are highly accomplished leaders and exemplary individuals in their respective societies. So it's my pleasure and honor to welcome the panelists. Shweta Jahagirdar, who is the head of SDV or Software Defined Vehicles at Tata Motors Commercial Vehicles. Padmaja AR, who is the Executive Vice President and member of the Executive Leadership, Bosch Global Software Technologies, BGSW in short, and also the Chief Technology Officer at Bosch Mobility Business Sector India. We are also joined by Rucha Nanavati, who is the Chief Digital Transformation Officer at Mahindra & Mahindra's automotive sector, and she is also a director on the board of Mahindra Life Spaces Developers. And last but not least, we are joined by Angelin GP, who is the Vice President of Software Development at Daimler Truck Innovation Center India, which is the global technology development hub of the world's largest truck maker, Daimler Truck. So of the four, we have two representatives from the trucking industry, one from India's largest truck maker, commercial vehicle maker, Tata Motors, and one from Daimler Trucks. Who says truck industry, or specifically truck engineering, is a man's domain, right? So great. Ladies, thank you very much for sparing your time and being part of this very special initiative by ET Auto to commemorate International Women's Day, and to also applaud and appreciate all your contributions. And when I say all, I mean all your contributions. I mean your contributions and you as representatives of women across India and over the world as well. So thank you very much once again, and best wishes to all of you. So now it's my pleasure to invite on the online stage Shweta Jahagirdar, who is, as I mentioned earlier, head of Software Defined Vehicles, Commercial Vehicles Business Unit, Tata Motors, to share her story, her journey so far. But before that, a brief introduction to Shweta. Shweta is a passionate and dedicated technocrat and has made remarkable progress across a wide range of domains within the Engineering Research Center at Tata Motors. She currently leads the newly established software-defined vertical within ERC. With almost 30 years of experience, Shweta has made substantial contributions in areas such as foundry, well line, engine, EOL in plant, diagnostics, telematics, and embedded in-vehicle ECU development. with a focus on body, gateway, and voice systems. In a most recent role, she spearheaded electronics design and played a key role in the successful rollout of OTA, or over-the-air updates. Throughout her career, Shweta has been a pioneer, driving the establishment of new domains such as EOL diagnostics, telematics, connectivity, and now SDV for the commercial vehicle business unit of India's largest commercial vehicle maker, Tata Motors. So the stage is yours, Shweta.
I had started my journey, as Samantha mentioned, 30 years ago in Tata Motors. And I started, actually, the day I entered Tata Motors, I'm working on software. So whether it be a PLC, whether it be a high-level software, whether it be an end-of-line or an embedded, and there the journey starts. And then today here I'm leading the software-defined vehicle, which will be a new journey for TML, as well as I think in the auto industry, this will be a game changer going forward. About my career, yes, I was working for first 10 years in the automation of plant and all the developments. I was actually in the foundry environment as well as the weld shop. And then on the soft part, I started on the automotive exclusive, started with the diagnostics, and then we pioneered the telematics. We also have a small hardware and software unit within Tata Motors. We like a tier one suppliers to Tata Motors. So I was heading that, and we actually developed the hardware, software, ECUs for all our vehicles. Yes. Maybe late till a decade ago, I was also supporting big deal on the past car vehicles. And just before my new role, I just handed over all the past car developments to the past car team. And with the new journey of STV, which has just come up last 8 months, 9 months ago, we have we are thinking as a great technology development within Tata Motors, just to take us to the next level in commercial business unit. That's it. Thanks for this opportunity, Subhadra.
Thank you, Shweta. So we will engage in a discussion and get to know more about you and the journey that you have had over you're having over the last 30 years or so. So now it's my pleasure to invite to this online stage a representative from India's largest truck maker to India's largest SUV major, Mahindra and Mahindra, and also the largest tractor manufacturer, Mahindra and Mahindra. So, but our speaker from M&M, Rucha Nanavati, who is the Chief Digital Transformation Officer at Mahindra and Mahindra's automotive division, is also a very, very highly accomplished professional. As I mentioned, she also sits on the board of Mahindra Life Spaces Developers. Rucha is a global leader with experience in enabling business strategies through technology solutions. Rucha has led successful digital transformations in multiple industries, including high-tech, retail, and manufacturing. She is quite passionate about fostering innovations and cultivating an engineering culture. Her previous experiences range from consulting roles at Zensar and PricewaterhouseCoopers to technology leadership roles at Albertsons companies and Motorola across UK, US, and India. Rucha has often been recognized for her transformation work through technology in multiple industries. Some of the more noteworthy awards received by her include Top Women in Grocery Award, CIO Power List Award, Excellence in Cloud Computing, Leading CIO of the Year Awards by CII, that is Confederation of Indian Industry, and many more. She has assumed the roles of director and board member at Indus, that's India SAP User Group, an independent user group comprising customers and partners within the SAP ecosystem in India. A strong proponent of diversity and inclusion, Rucha is passionate about mentoring and helping women move forward in technology and at workplaces in general. The stage is yours, Rucha.
Thank you so much, Mantra. That was quite an introduction. Thanks very much. That's very kind of you. As you touched upon it, right? I've actually had a chance to work across the globe, and many different industries. I think quite contrast from Shweta. She's come into this, and sustained it. I'm actually an electronics and communication major, but took a computer class and sort of got hooked. And I agree with you, Shweta, entirely on software is just the best thing ever. And so, that has defined the rest of my journey. Technology as the base has given me a lot of opportunities, international experiences. But I think more important than that has been the industries that I've got a chance to work in. From early days in banking to at Motorola, which was high tech, to retail, grocery retail, so discrete manufacturing, process manufacturing, and then I joined Mahindra Group, which is, we are 20 plus industries. I was in the group, so I got a chance to work with many of them, and now at Auto, which is in just bursting at the seams. It's such an exciting space, changing so fast with its own challenges and all that. But I think one thing I've learned over time, right? Since you said, personal anecdotes or something like that, I remember when somebody addressed me or, said, a woman leader, an important woman leader or something, it's sort of, a bit of hesitation saying, but I want to not have qualifier that I'm a woman leader. I'm a leader. Recognize me as a leader. Over time, though, I have understood that there's still not enough. The reason we have to do this kind of panel to say women in technology is not as many as it should be. So I proudly wear that badge of being a woman leader now, because I know it may show a path to others that may not have existed some time ago. And we have had chance to look at a lot of role models and mentors who supported us and so on. And if it makes a difference for anybody, I think it's happy to wear that badge. I know a lot of people here will recognize and that sentiment. So I think that's sort of a journey in a nutshell. Very happy to be here. As I said, innovation, technology is in every aspect of the business today. I think I have been through a journey where you'd think the most brick and mortar business, which was, you buy grocery, you want to sort of touch, feel, see the freshness. But even there, the technology was all over the place. So of course, the cars are becoming, sort of a computer on four wheels. So very exciting place to be, a leader in technology today.
Thank you, Rucha. Indeed, exactly. Women professionals have more than proved their mettle, their capabilities, but it's also a reality that more can be done. There needs to be more representation of women, and then we come to a stage where we do not, as you said, we don't have a distinction between a leader and a women leader. It has to be leader and proved beyond any doubt. And in terms of the representation, very well represented kind of community of leaders who happen to be women, right? So we are on the stage there, on the road there, and this initiative is exactly the reason why we brought together four of you as representatives of the community of leaders who are women, and also with the hope that it will inspire many others who would be watching this, and some of them who have already logged in, to really kind of rise in their respective careers and make a significant mark in whatever they're doing, and really bring about a change. And indeed, talking about technology, as you mentioned, it's becoming an increasingly technology-intensive era, right? So, which is why we thought that while we host this event with the representatives from the industry who are women, we also give it a more focused thing about it being tech-oriented, because technology today is touching every aspect of our life, right? Right from the day we wake up, right from the time we wake up in the morning till we go to sleep, and in between the mode of transport that we take. Great. So look forward to some interesting conversation with you as well, Rucha. And but now it's my pleasure and honor to invite Angelin uh, to share her journey, her story. Angelin Mary GP, as I mentioned earlier, is the VP, Vice President, Vehicle Software at Daimler Truck Innovation Center, India, global major Daimler Trucks technology development hub. And she also has close to 30 years of work experience. And before joining DTICI, she held engineering and program management leadership roles at Honeywell Technology Solutions in their building technology business unit. So, like Rucha, she also has experience in other sectors. And she led engineering teams that were designing and developing products and solutions for building automation ranging from edge devices to cloud. With an extensive background in the automotive industry, Angelin had played pivotal engineering and leadership roles at Aptiv, including engineering leader for systems testing and validation teams across the Asia Pac region. Her earlier experiences include program management and scientific research and development contributions at DRDO, that is Defense Research and Development Organization, where she worked on embedded software design and development for radar displays and vehicle electronics. Angelin pursued her academic endeavors in computer science and engineering at Tyagarajar College of Engineering, Madurai, Kamaraj University, and she also holds a master's degree in systems software from the prestigious BITS Pilani, that's Birla Institute of Technology Pilani. So, Angelin, without further ado, look forward to.
Yeah, thank you, Sumantra, for such a elaborate introduction. And I also thank this opportunity from ET Auto, and it's not just for sharing my journey or my perspectives, but also to connect with other industry leaders, from Tata Motors or Mahindra or Bosch and so on. So thanks for this. And as you said, my journey started with DRDO as a scientist, and then I was also after the radar research, I was associated with the vehicle research for the defense vehicles, and that's where my interest towards automotive started. So, and then I moved on to the automotive industry, and Aptiv, formerly it was known as Delphi, and that is where I kind of evolved, from the software engineer to a leader in the engineering R&D space, right, into an Asia Pac leader for testing and validation. And then I thought that I should have other domain experience as well. That is where I moved on to the Honeywell, where I got an exposure towards cloud computing, mobile app development, and they are slightly ahead of the automotive with respect to technology. So that gave me that exposure. And then automotive called back, so no one could resist um, an organization like Daimler Truck, for sure, and very significant role that I am playing today to lead the vehicle software and also to prepare ourselves towards our future architecture of DTOS HPCs, right? So thanks for this. And maybe I would like to quote something that I have come across, right? So a strong woman knows she has strength for the journey, but a woman of strength knows it is the journey where she will become strong. I can relate this to myself, because when I wanted to switch from my technical path towards leadership, like there were a lot of discouragement and demotivation from some of my fellow colleagues. Oh, Angelin is goody goody, and with a friendly smile, and how she can face tough customer discussions, because I was in a tier one, like obviously Mahindra or Tata of Indian customers when we started working with Indian OEMs. So I really took that as a challenge, and it was like a personality change for me, because I took that as a challenge to prove myself that, I could get into the tough discussions, negotiations as well. So I think we need that nudge and a push as well sometimes, that we can, to discover our strengths that are within. And good. I think this is a good opportunity. So I'm looking forward to hear from others as well as to share my perspectives within this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Angelin. Uh, Thanks for sharing those anecdotes also. But yes, you know what? As a representative of the society, as being a male, it doesn't give me too much pride to share that, yes, we perhaps the society could be more encouraging towards women, and in many aspects, in professional and social. And I think the good part is that we are progressively improving, and a lot more needs to be done. And hopefully, all your stories, which we bring forth through this platform through of ET Auto, will inspire to accelerate this kind of evolution, of having a more equal, a fairer society, and including work environments. So thank you very much again, once again, Angelin. Now it's my pleasure to invite Padmaja AR to share her journey, her story. But before I leave the stage to her, let me tell a little bit about Padmaja. She is a passionate automotive enthusiast with close to 3 decades of experience in the automotive industry. So, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, we are really honored to have such highly experienced professionals from the industry. So, as the Executive Vice President of Bosch Global Software Solutions and CTO of Bosch Mobility India, she is committed to driving innovation and develop technology solutions to address the market and societal challenges. She is a firm believer in industry collaborations to meet the future needs of the market. With a career enriched by working across automotive domains from powertrain, safety, comfort to ADAS, that's Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, and automated driving, Padmaja is currently driving the Bosch Mobility R&D and advanced engineering in India, focusing on topics like software, AI, ML, data-driven products and solutions, to name a few. Padmaja firmly believes that software-led innovations, along with connected technologies, would drive the future of mobility. She fosters an entrepreneurial mindset while developing engineering solutions and takes pleasure in coaching and guiding teams through the evolving engineering landscape. Some of our areas include AI and its application in automotive and connected vehicles. So, Padmaja, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Sumantha, for that. Next time I have to tell my assistants to cut that intro. But thanks a lot.
But you know what? No, I would have done that had it not been for this special Women's Day special. Because not the reason being, people should know more, a detailed kind of information. You should have the detailed information from all the speakers. So there's a valid reason for that.
Thank you for being so kind. Thank you. So coming to myself, the introduction is a very simple one. I started my career in electronics, actually, heavy electricals. I started in BHEL. I'm an auto head. I used to repair bikes, repair cars. Yeah, I belong to that category of people. As a hobby. So for me, being in the auto industry is a hobby which has become a profession, right? What better in life than that? I started my career, how do you say, as mostly in my career, I was one of the very few women there in the room, right? And I started off more or less with a motto, which I could say it as, which was beat the men, beat the boys, right? Be better than them, right? Because it was not a very welcoming crowd. Let me be very honest. It was never a very, very welcoming crowd. It was either condescending or humiliating, but it was never equal. And I fought for that. But I think somewhere down the line, some gray hairs on the head, you say that, what are you competing with? You ought to be the benchmark, right? You're not competing with them. You are to set your own standards, right? So I think I realized somewhere down the line that being myself and setting my own standards and bringing in your own style, I think style is the part which is most looked, not exactly down, but looked differently at, right? Because women possess oodles of that. They have huge amount of style and a way of doing things. I think that's what is the fight about. The fight is not about what it is that you're working, it is how, right? And I said, Aja bete, ye karna hi hai, right? So I went on with it saying that we have to have, you can't curb my style and put your style and ask me to do things in your style. So that became how I did things. And I looked at things that could be deeper than just I, me, myself, right? You then start looking at it. And some of the things which I learned and changed over a period of time was being firm and decisive. Like Angelina was saying, everybody said that you can't be firm and decisive. Women can't be firm and decisive, right? I said, to hell with you, I'm firm and decisive, but I won't give up being kind, right? I will be kind at the same time. The person behind the decision matters, and I will be kind. This is one of the rules that I set for myself, right? The second one, which is held very much against women, is women are too emotional, right? They are too emotional. I mean, they miss the point, right? So one thing I taught myself over a period of time is, when you have negativity within you, for whatever, somebody has pushed you down, whatever, politics are all around the place, right? When that happens, when there is negativity, keep your emotions down and in check. Learn to do that. Practice it. Learn to do that. But when you have a positive emotion, baby, bring it on, right? Because men can't do it, right? It's your party time, do it. Because people need emotion. We miss that point, right? People, everybody needs a show of emotion. Professionalism doesn't mean that you have to be emotional, right? We are teaching that to the world today, but women always had it, right? We had to learn to orchestrate it a little bit. But then the last bit I will always say is, I have moved too long in pants and shirts and belts and ties, and I dared to dress and be like a woman. So these are the things that I said. We make our presence felt, right? Let's do it, and let's do it well. So that's what are my few things over this long spanning career. Love being here, love this show, and love being with all of you guys. It's fantastic. I heard you all and got to learn out of every bit of what you have said. Thank you.
And you are making the presence felt, and how. So congratulations to all you and all your peers. And as you were recounting your journey, I can imagine, as much as all of you, I mean, give or take a few years, almost such a long career span and counting, are in your positions, leadership positions today. But I can imagine how it was when you started your career. Obviously, and very clearly put by Padmaja, wasn't conducive at all, if I may say. And especially in some societies, it could be even more so. So, I mean, kudos to all of you for breaking the barriers, to pushing the boundaries, and reaching where you have so far. And may you reach even greater heights, you and your peers across the industry, across the world, and in the process also set examples for the future generations to follow, which is again another objective of hosting this very special webinar. Thank you very much, Padmaja, for sharing your thoughts so candidly. Expected you to do so, by the way. So, so thank you very much. And now we'll have a discussion around the topic of today's webinar, and followed by an interactive session with the attendees. So attendees who have joined, to all the attendees, yeah, warm welcome to you as well. And thank you for tuning in. And please make the most of this exclusive opportunity to not only listen, but to engage in an interaction with these exemplary leaders, so who are really would also qualify as trailblazers. So now coming to the topic of this webinar, pushing the boundaries. Again, I'll start with you, Padmaja. I mean, you pushed the boundaries, and in terms of what you faced then, and not and with the attitude of bring it on, and so tell me, I mean, how different is the scenario today for someone who's let's say in her initial years of her career, of just joined the organization, let's say, be it Bosch or elsewhere?
I think one thing that's very positive is I don't think everything is genuine, but I still believe that on the face of it, right, the organizations are way more welcoming and the opportunities are all over the place, right? I think you have to still translate it, but definitely opportunities are there in place. There are 2 points that women who are there anywhere have to look at. One point is that the world has moved away from technology that came in and lived for 10 years on, right? And once you learned it, half of your career, half life is done with one technology. That period is gone. So skilling yourself continuously, yeah, has to become a kind of a hobby. You can have many other hobbies, but this bloody well be a hobby if you want to be in any kind of a professional career. Yeah, this is a given, number one. Number two, what I believe is that today, or in most cases, women don't have the opportunity to experience as much as their counterparts, right? As the men, let me say that way, right? In terms of life experiences, they are shielded. They are shielded right from a very young age to later. They go through a whole lot of a very resilience part is tested, right? But the exposure to different scenarios which are business centric are not so many. Women are shielded in that. And I think women need to take liberty to get these experiences. How? Everyone has to figure it for themselves. But women need to step out and need to step out alone, right? Really, without any crutches, they need to step out alone and embrace these experiences, I would say. The third thing that I will say is that women have too many small, in German they say Dankeschön or thank yous, yeah, which come their way very easily, right? That is that they always have a small thank you, like, oh, you kept your house so well. Oh, you dressed up your table so beautifully. Oh, those curtains are so nice. Not bad at all. I love them all when somebody says it to me, right? But what it depletes us of, because you're getting a lot of pats on the back, right? What you don't crave for is that large ambition, right? Today, the opportunity is there, the openness is there, the means very much are there. So my advice is skill, 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 skill. Go out into the world on your own, throw away the crutches, and don't stop at small things. Go after the big goals. This is what I will say, right? But today's women, in terms of the barriers, Sumantra, they are still the same that women put for themselves, right? Opportunities are a lot, right? Means have grown, right? But women need to break these barriers to move forward. According to me, that is the case.
Thank you. Very well said there. So as a key takeaways is skill, focus on skilling, almost like take it as a hobby, and skilling will empower you. And also go after big goals. Don't underestimate yourself. Very well said there. And I think you are a living example of that. So no, thank you, Padmaja. Now let me come to Rucha. Rucha, you have had the opportunity to work in different societies. When I say different societies, I mean in overseas as well, different organizations, different cultures. How do you, what are the common factors and what are the not so common factors when it comes to the opportunity, the environment, conduciveness of the environment for women professionals?
I think the fundamentals are quite the same, honestly. The degrees are varying, for sure. Here, having a woman boss out there wasn't as much a shock. The other thing I find, I think completely agree with Padmaja on is like, please be a lifelong learner. Somebody asked what is your success based on? I'll say that in a heartbeat, that be completely curious all the time, because otherwise the technology, in technology space especially, it changes at a breakneck speed right now. You can't, otherwise you just can't cope. The nuance of this is, right? What has worked for me is that when things are making me uncomfortable, I want to speak up. I will do that respectfully. I will do that maintaining the decorum of the place, but I will make it known that this is making me uncomfortable. If you don't do that, I think you'll allow them to keep growing that behavior. And that, as I've had to do somewhere else, I'll do it here as well. I don't think it is different in Europe or US or UK. You just do it in India as well. A little bit varying of it. I think I've seen more representation of women, which makes a huge difference. I think you are more, you easily start talking about the issues you might have. That's the difference. And I think that's why there are systemic opportunities. We have to convert them. I love the rule that, you have to have women, whatever here. I think board is one of the examples, which is pretty, going well. And a lot of other places you have to have representation. Government has these opportunities as well. All the organizations as well. I think we have some amazing maternity policy, industry benchmark maternity policy in Mahindra. We have returnship program that are just really, really good. So take all the advantages of it. The two things that I'll tell you. One is, be sure that you want to do this. It is still not easy. I think Padmaja also alluded to that. Don't make these boundaries for yourself, at least. Fix your monologue and ensure that you are also vocal about your ambitions. Because then people will rally around you. I feel that when going gets tough in other situations, right? It's very easily assumed that the woman will sort of step aside, pick up things, I don't know, change the curtains, Padmaja. But if you are not clear and you are not making it clear to others, they won't even think of coming and stepping in and helping. So that's something I've learned over time, that ask for help. and 99% of the time you shall receive it. Right. So I think these fix a monologue first. You can do it. Continue to learn, and you can do it. Right. And I entirely agree that women uniquely exude strength and are empathetic and compassionate at the same time. Right. And that's quite unique. I think the style part is very important. Do it with your own thing. We have tried to imitate others for a while. We have done that. And it might have taken us to a certain time, but now world over, we are trying to teach leaders that you have to be empathetic. It's about leading people, not just making numbers. It's about leading people.
Soft power, in other words.
Absolutely. And that soft part is not so soft.
Yeah. Not the conventional definition of soft.
But with empathy, with compassion that is required to when you are, leading a large set of people. So I think be a lifelong learner for sure. Be sure about your ambition and make it known to others so they can come and help you. That's very, very important. We don't do that so much as women. We want to be on Women's Day, all these posters that will come out, there's 10 hands and I'm doing everything. I absolutely do not like that. It sets you up for failure. It's just not possible.
Yeah.
Right. So
absolutely.
ask for help.
Yeah. Very well said. Speak up, as you said, no? And also, yes, I mean, fundamentally, the challenges or the opportunities are more or less the same. But yes, the difference lies in the degree of varying degrees. Yes. So good to know these thoughts from you, and thanks for sharing them so candidly. I would take, your expression of your thoughts as also, what will be more or less same across the entire community of women professionals. So now let me come to Shweta. Shweta, considering that both you and Angelin are also kind of in the designing the software part of the trucks of tomorrow. Tell us one thing: how different will be the characteristics of a truck, or how different the animal will be? Let's say 4, 5 years, 10 years down the line. And while we are talking about that, tell me, did you face when you chose engineering to pursue education, was it all cakewalk, or do you think was there any kind of how do I say, resistance or any other suggestions for you?
Actually, when I started the career, I always say thanks to Tata Motors most of the times, because nowhere in my career span I didn't get an opportunity because I am a woman employee. No matter it is as hard as foundry or as new as STV. So my company has given me always the opportunities, and I'm always thankful to it. Yes, it's not a cakewalk, definitely, because but I think it's not a cake for a man either, because when you are climbing up the stairs, you're typically going all alone. So whatever hurdles would come in for a man would also come in for a woman. So as even Rucha said, I don't think we have to look at it separately as women. Yes, but the hurdles would be more for a woman. Why? Because though we don't claim ourselves to have 10 hands, but typically when we are balancing our work as well as our home, we definitely have to carry it some or the other time. And then the amount of efforts needed to do a task, maybe for a man, like he would go early morning, not a big deal. But there are some other factors for a woman. So in that case, for a woman to reach that top would be a bit harder. So it's not difficult, it is harder. And how do we overcome? So if I want to achieve it in my life, I, as a woman or as what you can say, as a human being, we have to look at, I want to achieve it. Whatever hurdles are coming in, I have to break it through because I have chosen this path. I have a choice of a homemaker. I have a choice of either doing the career or doing the home. But if I am taking both the choices, it's me who is making the choice and me who have to break the barriers. And as even Rucha mentioned or even Angela mentioned, that we need support. Go back, seek for help. It's nothing wrong to seek for help. Yes, seek for help where it is someone can really support you and work it out. But I feel is you who have to break the barriers and just move it ahead. No one is going to come and help us to break it off. And if I had chosen it, I have to do it. That's what I think we should take it up.
Right.
And the second part, I think you just, sorry, you were saying something. I was cut you.
No, I'm talking about the on the engineering part.
Yes,
the
I was
trucks of
about to.
tomorrow.
Yes. So, when I started my career, I was actually working for the Pascar. And when I entered into the commercial vehicles, I see the long haul trucks, and I really feel very fascinated. I feel it's real engineering. Not that nothing for the Pascar negative, but it's true masterpiece of engineering. I always feel, and but it is too mechanical. Rucha is looking at me. Nothing to say, but just nothing negative because I have worked in both the domains. But like today also, when I go to Foundry, I feel it's real engineering. So when it comes to commercial vehicles, it is 80% mechanical, and there the real challenge lies is to convert this mechanical or mechatronics to software is a journey. And once we achieve this journey, we are there. Like today, for commercial vehicles, we are nearly having Tata Motors, we are having 9 lakh vehicles connected to our ecosystem. And that's a very massive connectivity tool. And we are the leaders there. But we take this baseline and then have the monetization, have the softwareization, have the digitization, everything we will have to work it out. And I feel the future of the truck is going to be the key one. Because in trucks, there are two personas. And I think Rita would again look at me. One is a driver-driven persona and an owner-driven persona. Unlike in Pascar, it's only owner-driven persona. So when it's a driver-driven personas, we have to look into the features or feature matrix in both the ways. And at the same time, we have to support both of them. So that's where we will be looking at the future. So the future is all about ADAS, electrification, AI, ML. But the baseline mechatronics will still be there. And I think the challenge today for all of us in this domain of commercial will be to convert the mechanical to mechatronics and mechatronics to electrification and then to software. And I think that's a journey. But if we are in there, then we are there. It's like converting the Symbian phone to the smartphone, which is just on the go on our hands. So I think we should aim trucks to be there. That's what I feel should be the aim.
Well said there. And indeed, softwareization of the automobile is on the rise, and DTICI, if I'm not wrong, is already well ahead in terms of its development of what could possibly be the world's first OS or operating system for trucks, right, Angelin? So tell us now, how will it influence, what will it bring a kind of to the table in terms of, let's say, new dimension of trucking, for example?
Yeah, so definitely, everybody is aware of the mega trends like connected, safe, advanced, and electrification. And now more and more we are moving towards connected vehicles, right? In the connected portion itself, the trucks are also becoming like an edge devices to the cloud, right? So for example, when I was in Honeywell for a shorter period of time, there were edge devices connected to the cloud. So when I came to the automotive, back to the Daimler truck, now I can visualize our trucks are like edge devices connected to the cloud. So we are already having features, for example, connected traffic warnings and so on, utilizing the same big data and AI ML. And even including the drivers as, maybe part of the gamification, to give them some score that if they feed some data on the way, a truck cannot pass through a tunnel, then such information, if it is available upfront to the driver or a fleet owner, they can choose a different, route, of their journey. So how do we make, the driver or a fleet owner's life smoother, by these kind of upfront information? So this is where we are working on advanced, technologies, and also leveraging this AI, ML, through predictive maintenance, or predictive algorithms for which is the right route to choose, or which is the right charging station for an electric vehicle, so that the downtime of a truck will be very limited, and so on, because the uptime plays a vital role in the trucking industry or in the logistics. So of course, the use cases and scenarios are different for the owner driven, as Shweta said, for passengers cars versus commercial trucks or buses. So we are in the journey definitely towards these advanced technologies and high performance computing. So this, today we are working on, okay, our features have to sit in which ECU or which domain controller, our functions have to sit in. So this kind of a feature function partitioning within the ECUs or domain controllers. But we started to think on whether this feature should be in the truck or in the cloud. So we started to think towards that, like this is going to be an onboard feature or an off-board feature, which is in the cloud. So so that we can make this kind of separate the hardware from the software, and even become software monetization. It will be like
Right.
a win-win for the OEM as well as the fleet owner, so that they do not buy everything as today, a traditional truck, but they can also choose to buy software as a service going forward, so that we are marching towards that. And this also lead to more and more women engineers into this, right, in the R&D space. And it's predominantly software and electronics, and it's not necessarily embedded software, it could be cloud, or it could be mobile, and it could be any other IT related. So it also encourages more and more women coming into it. And it's end of the day a skill set that we need to keep upskilling, but the domain knowledge is the key. So if we are staying in the automotive, that automotive domain knowledge, and within the domain there are various other domains like active safety or infotainment. So we need to, I think, upskill not just the skill set, but also in-depth domain knowledge is the key for our success. Yeah. So this is this is how DTICI is playing as a technology pillar, or a large and only technology pillar for Daimler Truck. So this is a good opportunity for our engineers here. Yeah.
So as you are saying, what I take is that enhancing the skill sets as well as more in-depth domain knowledge, both are equally important. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I just looked at the watch, and also these questions that have come in from the attendees. So beforehand, ladies, I would like to request you if you can give us another 15 minutes or so, because I think to do justice to the questions, and I had some more questions, but I'll stop mine for now and dip into the questions that we have received from the attendees. Is it okay if we extend the webinar by another 15 minutes or so?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yes, okay.
It should be okay. Should be fine.
Great. And very, I mean, I expected good participation from the audience, and that's what it has turned out to be. So first question is from Aparna Jadhav, who asks, what advice would you give to young women aspiring to build careers in the automotive sector, particularly in technical or leadership roles? And how do you believe having a more diverse workforce and how do you believe having a more diverse workforce, including more women, impacts innovation and the overall success of automotive companies? The first part I will request Shweta to answer, and maybe Rucha can take the second part.
Yeah, sure. I will take the first question. I always have very lot of interactions within my company also for all the young women aspiring the careers in automotive. So as also mentioned by Padmaja and Rucha also, keep your learning spirit. Keep your innovative spirit. Most of the times, what happen? It's gender. I don't want to be very stereotype here, but when a woman you achieve some stage in your life, you say it is comfort zone. So if you get the comfort zone in life, probably you don't want to step out. And then the comfort zone could be the technology, comfort zone could be the team, comfort zone could be anything. But then always urge for something new. There will be hurdles. Don't just wait for someone else to solve your problems. You go ahead if you want to build a good career. See, you can choose to be a homemaker also. It's not wrong in doing that. But if you want to build a home, your career good, specifically in the automotive domain, which today is also male dominant, and it will remain few, though there are a lot of new avenues where the women engineers can actually work into. What I would suggest is adopt whatever is happening in the ecosystem first, adopt the change, learn new things, keep on learning, keep the inquisitiveness always there. Be deep down technical, don't look at superficial, that's not going to help you in your career. And fourth is you are going to be minority for some time in this. Don't make a you of it or don't cry over it. Accept it, step it, fight it, and go ahead. You assume that you are the minority. That's not going to impact anything. You just have to do what is there in your plate. Just keep all these factors in mind, and there you are able to. I feel you'll be able to grow succeed. Obviously, technical front, as I mentioned, is that most of the times you just things look superficially, but the fundamentals should be very clear deep within you, and you have to strive yourself hard to make the fundamentals clear, whichever domain it be. Then you will be able to just make it up if your fundamentals are clear. So look into all these aspects, and that will help you to make a good career in automotive.
Thank you, Shweta. Rucha, and how do you believe having a more diverse workforce, which means including more women, impacts innovation and the overall success of companies, specifically automotive companies?
Yeah, I think anywhere, right? Our customers are men and women both. Today, even in India, across the globe, right, the financial independence that women have, they make them a very important customer. So even representation of a customer within your organization is extremely important, right? You are designing your products for who? That's one aspect. Looking at how fundamentally, how many women are entering engineering space, whether it is, pure engineering degree or ITI or wherever. It's a very proven stat that it is going to impact the GDP overall, women coming into workforce, right? So why would your organization not take advantage of that? It in any industry, let's say in any industry, right? So that's the second thing. I think the diverse perspective for any innovation is a huge thing. Otherwise, you'd only be thinking a certain way. Is this height okay? Is this crash test dummy okay? You may be only thinking from one side of thing, right? So it is diverse perspective, and I think I'll go even a little bit beyond gender also. I think very important to understand the cultural differences, the regions you are designing for. Of course, geography and nation is, Mahindra is out, going out international businesses as well. So to understand all of that, all the diverse perspective are extremely important for innovation and inclusiveness. Yes, it'll come through it. But for your research, for designing the right product for the entire user group or your customer base that you have, we have auto heads here. You forget about going anywhere else, right? And so many of such examples. And even if it is a family that is, we make SUVs, we make larger vehicles. It's about a family.
Yeah.
So how can you not have that representation in the whole of your ecosystem?
Right.
It's extremely important.
Yeah. Indeed, you know what, as you were sharing your thoughts to the response to the question, I was also recalling one experience, an experience of visiting the powertrain manufacturing facility of the Nissan GTR, which is it's a halo model car, and which is a representation of cutting edge technology in terms of powertrain and power and performance and all that, among others. muscle car from first pure muscle car from Japan to kind of challenge the others from the West. I went there, and this is a small facility, but each and every engine is assembled manually, and they call the term is takumi, which means craftsman, and it's almost like a very highly sophisticated craft of putting the putting the engine together and then signing off whoever is putting that. And in that entire thing, there was one lady takumi, and when I asked the person who is overall in charge, I said, "What is the difference?" He said that the lady takumi, they have to really crack a lot of exams to be able to qualify as a takumi. But to cut a long story short, he said that it's the certain nuances that she brings in terms of attention to detail and things, which she brings a certain skill sets, which is almost kind of because of the gender advantage that she has, as compared to her male counterparts who bring another set of different set of kind of strengths. So that example is really stayed in my mind, and when you're sharing this, it's it just I remember that
Very
story.
true. And I think you should visit Mahindra plants. I think see how many women are on the shop floor. Plenty. We also have a farm where the engine line is running entirely.
Yeah, increasingly the automotive industry is increasingly becoming an
There is
example
so much
of
automation now
gender
and
diversity.
software there, right? Just one quick point. So the customer touch points are not just about product, right? Now the customer journeys are fully digitized. And it's not just about what is going inside the product, but also outside the product.
The entire value chain.
How do you buy the car, right?
Yeah.
You can't possibly buy 176,000 cars in an hour going to a dealership. It is all digital, right? That was our last of 30,000 EVs that you just talked about, the buzz that those cars have created. So there are so many different opportunities and so many touch points where it's extremely important to have the diverse perspectives.
Indeed. Thanks. And we'll talk about the value chain more in detail later. But the next question from Raksha Sudhindra, who asks, maybe Padmaja, you would like to take this question. The question is, how to call out unconscious biases among male leadership that comes out casually, and microaggressions that happen a lot. Most times, I'm the only woman in a group of men.
So I would go with what Rucha said, right? First thing to call out is to say, I'm uncomfortable. It's hard to do it. It's hard to do it, right? But saying no, I think most women have a problem saying no or calling it out. I think it's a duty not only to ourselves, but to the rest of the women folk, because this person, whoever is doing this aggression, is not doing it to you alone. Please, please remember that. It's never a singular incident. It's always a habit, right? And please do it by saying a no first, right? Yeah. The second part of it is the calling it out part, right? Larger, bringing them to a consequence or to some kind of a result, right? One is based on the degree of it, you should speak up and bring it to some kind of a result, be it posh, be it a board, whatever setup you have. Take it, don't hesitate it, please do it, because it is not happening to you alone, right? The second point on unconscious bias, right? Unconscious bias, the only way that I have seen or I have dealt with it, right? Unconscious bias is there in everything. And biggest unconscious bias is in not giving an opportunity, not because our fairer parts don't or want to be unfair to us, but they believe they are being kind to you. This is such a difficult job. Poor thing, she will have to stretch. So unconscious bias is again the same answer. call it out. And I think by saying that I want the job and putting your, I think Shweta said it, right? Coming out there and saying that I am to be contented. I think women shy away from tagging the word ambition and I, right? So please start tagging that, not only for ambition, but for a job to be counted, right? Yeah. And Shweta very rightly said, you're never going to be a majority, not in the auto industry for some time to come. So stop bloody crying about being a minority, right? Minority is only numbers, right? It's one view. Bring in diversity, right? Then you will look at all the other perspectives as well, right? So what I will say to you is that call out, put what you're, don't be shy to ask that I want to do the job. It's not anything that you should be ashamed of. It is not like in Hindi they say मेरे इज्जत का सवाल है. नहीं, ये तुम्हारे इज्जत का सवाल नहीं है, right? You need to be, so I mean, I'm so sorry for saying this to all of you as women. Being a woman is that there is no prince who's going to give you the flower and invite you to take the job. It's not happening, my dear. You chose to be in this industry. You chose to join the race. So you have to start being there and asking for it. It's not for men or for women. It's for everybody the same. There is an unconscious bias, and you can beat it only by repeating this thing regularly. So this is the only thing that I can say, and keep it there.
Right. Next question is from Varshini, who asks, what is the prerequisite needed for a woman for auto industry? I think, Shweta, you want to take it? I don't think it will be any different from men, is it?
Yes. So actually, the prerequisite is not going to be different for a man and woman. It's what it is needed to actually perform in the organization. Nothing is different. It means I sometimes, as Rucha also mentioned, Padmaja also, Angelin also mentioned, that women leaders, instead of considering women and male, we need to consider ourselves as humans, and whatever is needed for an employee to do, whether it is male or female, it should be what it is to be. Whether it is a struggle, whether it is knowing everything, whether it is knowing the technical barriers, everything what we want to do, we have to do it keeping the gender aside. Obviously, the struggle for a female could be more, or in some case, the struggle for a male could be also more. We never know what is on the other side of the corner. It's an individual about where he or she has to struggle. So I think we have to remove that shutter down concept of I being the women, I need to have some privilege, I need to get some, just go it off. If I am demanding equality everywhere, I have to first come out of that zone that I am a woman and I need all this. Obviously, there are some natural things which by nature you have the power to absorb it and digest it and work on it. So it is nothing great that you are having difficulties and at the workplace, but the prerequisites are all the same. Just keep your learning curve always right. No matter wherever you are in the organization, whichever leadership position you are, deep rooted down, you have to be an engineer. And I actually appreciated when Padmaja said she actually repaired the two-wheelers. And so actually keep it live, I feel. And then only you'll be able to do this. And maybe I don't see if everyone is there as the professional, but I feel this should start from home. We today are so much dependent on someone else to get it repaired. But I remember my father actually repairing the fans, and I actually learned engineering from my father. But today it is not there. And you see, in 10th, the 50% of girls are actually at the top. In 12th, 80% are at the top. When they join in an industry, I think it is 50-50 or it is 60-40. But you see very handful at the top. and the sustenance, consistency to struggle being. So that's where I think we please remove, means instead of we saying that others should remove the biases, we should remove the biases on our own, that I'm a woman and I can't do that, I need to do this. So that I think we will be able to go there. So that's where
Don't wait for
I don't
others.
know
Do
whether
it,
I
do it on your
answered.
own.
Yeah.
Indeed, you did. Next question is from Varshini again, about, this is to the entire panel. Whoever wishes to take, please unmute yourself and answer. Could you please throw light on work-life balance, especially during the maternity phase, and as a guide to women who are starting their work journey? So
I
Varshini
can take
is
it.
someone who is new in the industry. Yeah.
I can take it, Sumantra.
Please.
Yeah, so I can share, my experience in my when I was expecting my first baby boy, and in fact, I was working until the last day, which I did not know. Right, it was 12 days before. So on the same night, I had to go to the hospital. It was a normal delivery, and I got a call on Monday that I want to speak to Angelin. I have a doubt in some embedded C. Then my aunt was saying, she just delivered a baby. Do you really want to know your, doubt to be cleared now? So it was just a joke. But what I say is, I think we can still do it, and more physically when we are active, it's going to be easy labor for us, and we know how to balance it. And of course, fortunately, I had the family support, right? So of parents or in-laws or husband. But another way is, it's in our hands also to seek support and make them support us. So that is in our hands on how do we also get that support from the family. And automation of the home is very important. I'm not talking about automatic fan or switch and things like that, but when you are not there, the house should run. So this I have learned over a period of time. Then when I had to travel, I can't be cooking, so we can compromise on having a cook. And personally, I like cooking, but you compromise and having a cook at home so that you can be peaceful when you are traveling. So I think we need to see how do we automate things at home to take care of kids or to take care of things. But and also now it's more easier with working from home or flexibility option and so on. But I think it is very easy to manage this work and life with many HR policies in the organization. And definitely DTSA has very well in favor of promoting women to come back after maternity reintegration, or there are policies with all this flexi working hours and so on. I think it is more easy compared to the our days. I think we can manage it well. But only one thing is, we cannot do everything at home like we want to do. So that is
Right.
the compromise that we need to learn on what I don't want to do, so that I can prioritize. It's a dynamic prioritization which we have to do. I think that is how I would say, how can we balance work and life. Sometimes it's very hard to draw this line. Sometimes work is life also, because it gives us the identity and this is part of our life. So it's very hard to split that, but we should know how to balance this. Yeah, thanks.
Last question from the audience before I pose my questions. Last set of questions from me as well. But this one is from Kiran Bapuso Chavan, who asks, did having a mentor play a significant role in your career growth? If yes, how did they impact your journey? Rucha?
Sure. Yes. I think very important aspect to have people you look up to, or you can go, they're trusted. You can go and ask for advice when you are conflicted about something. And I have had those, official, unofficial mentorship. Mentors I've had. I still have them. I'm different countries now. And I still reach out to them, and I have people who reach out to me for getting advice. So I think invest from both sides. A lot of times we're confused about what mentor-mentee relationship is. I'll ask you a question, you'll answer it. it's not that easy, because it becomes very rich and contextual when you've invested time in it. And absolutely very important, because why do you want to go discover every answer by yourself? There are people who will very happily be your mentor. Even sponsorship is important, I think, in organizations. That's another concept people should look up if you're not familiar. But very, very important. And I tell you, I have been through, Angelin was describing a phase of her life when she was asking for help. I have been through, phase in my life, and I was really, really difficult time, even coming back to work was tough. And these are the people who have faith in you when you don't. And they'll support you even now. They'll support me even now. If I have a question about my career, I'll go back and ask and, bounce it off them. And so very important. The only point I'll say is it's not a one-way thing. You should remember that. Mentees also have the responsibility to invest equally.
Indeed. Very well said there. And the last input from the audience is not a question, but it's a comment. And this is from Shyam Ganjevar, who heads the GCC for a US MNC in India. He would like to share that his organization promotes women employees more, I would assume, not that it's only women employees, but because they are stable. And it seems this has brought down the attrition rate in his organization to a great extent. Okay. So, now let's talk a little bit on the pushing the boundaries on the technology side also in terms of the automotive industry. Staying with you, Rucha, as you said, the technology developments, all the new age technology is not happening only within the vehicle, it's outside the vehicle also, because also if you are talking about shrinking a product life cycle, shrinking product development cycle, it has the entire ecosystem has to be well aligned. So very briefly, could you tell us what are the new development trends that you are witnessing, and which maybe Mahindra and Mahindra is also trying to promote well to reach its objective of becoming a major player, play it at the global level also and play it well.
For sure, I think our ambition is very clear. We want to make great vehicles that's global benchmark, and make in India for everyone. And so that means the whole global landscape is your competition, right? So faster time to market is very, very important. Informed and fast decision making is very, very important. Scalable project execution is extremely important. And above all customer touch points, done well with the kind of service and experience that customer expects is extremely important. And so we have, so not just in the product, but the entire ecosystem, resilient supply chain, new product introduction cycles, customer experiences, whether on a sales side or service side. This entire ecosystem is going through a digital transformation to ensure that we are able to compete the way we want to. I think when we were talking about the kind of competition that there is, and data is a competitive advantage. Angelin, you just talked about AI, ML you use, whether it is for making sure that you're really giving the right service to the customer. We understand them, give them the personalized, correct information and data, or the right vehicle for you there, versus enabling all of our engineers that are working on a new product very seamlessly, so they are able to do their job very, very efficiently. So I think we are engaged in, I could go on and on, but we are engaged in a transformation that really enables the business to do the best possible, to produce the best possible products for our customers.
So, okay, since you expressed also about Mahindra and Mahindra's growing ambition, and we are in a period where Tesla is getting all the headlines with its plans for India. Could it be that we are not too far from having an Indian brand as aspirational as Tesla, and possibly it could be
a Mahindra? I think we already are. our last two electric vehicles, born electric vehicles as we call them, XEV 9E and 6, BEV 6, they've done amazingly well. I think we'll start shipping soon. I told you we have 30,000 plus on the first day. We got bookings. So very excited about that. And I think for those who don't know, we did an open challenge when we launched the vehicles. You probably know that, right, Samantha? We did an open comparison, public comparison with other brands
including a luxury brand.
Yes, luxury brands. There's nothing of the
Yeah, that's also a reflection of the audacity, which is, of
absolutely,
course,
absolutely. I think yes, the audacity and I think our leadership, whether it is Anand or Rajesh or Anish, everybody has said that yes, our ambition is to world-class global benchmark vehicles. We want to democratize technology. I think the kind of technology that is there in our vehicles is just unprecedented for Indian market.
Indeed.
And so you'd say, I would say we are already there.
Right. And what gives confidence is the engineering prowess, growing engineering and technology prowess of India, and all of you are responsible for that. So many congratulations to you. And since we are talking about India's progression in the mobility industry, Indian players, but generally overall the mobility, what are the next frontiers you expect for the mobility industry in terms of technology, or maybe form factors also?
So one of the things which is going to be a very very prominent thing is going to be user experience, and that's where the answer on diversity and whole of that openness and the ability to co-create along with everybody happens. So user experience is the next revolution, and it's going to, so user experience, personalization are the two dots where mobility is going to head in a big way. Yeah. The personalization could be different when it turns towards the West versus the East, right? East will be a whole lot more emotional and empathy or human-centric, while the West will be a lot more drive-centric, autonomy-centric, vehicle autonomy-centric, right? So you may be heading the driverless way on one side and the emotion and human centricity personalization on the other side. But this is one thing that is definitely happening. The second big war is going to be how are the architectures in the car actually going to work alongside sustainability. I think today the big wave is to power the cars with compute that is unthinkable. The amount of compute power that we are loading into the cars is just phenomenal, right? And a whole lot of it is not really used by the end consumer. And the point, I understand where the OEMs come from as well. But the end consumer, we are not having the consumers coming back to paying for what they want to use. They want to have it all, right? That's the way, that's the trend we are in right now. But somewhere along the way, my bet is that sustainability will weigh in, right? And we will move to having what we want to use. And thereby, the SDV will really come to the party when the monetization. Today, the SaaS bit on SDV doesn't play because every rubbish is amortized on the vehicle, right? So that's really a disadvantage both for the OEMs and for anybody who wants to do SaaS, right? That is going to give way into something that I will load my car, and that's where AI will come into play. Because AI will be able to give you the metrics, give you the data. Who does it? I don't have any idea. Everybody is trying their hand at it, but somebody will crack this bit. And finally, it has to come to metrics, KPIs, which will show what are you using for what carbon footprint. Maybe this is one metric, right? Yeah. But I think we are going to head in that direction. I wouldn't move away from, so powertrain wise, Sumantra, I believe that energy will become an ecosystem of its own. It's going to be agnostic what you are going to build on top. but you are going to have energy as one. You can power it by electric or hydrogen or whatever else that is going to. The silicon vendors form the next level. They are going to fight a war that's going to be tremendously interesting. Let me put it that way. The Silicon War has just begun, and with Silicon War is going to be very linked to the geopolitics, right?
Yes, that's the other aspect.
That's a huge thing that's yet to be resolved. On top of it come the rest of the systems, which we will fight about, which I just now said how we are going to deal with. But it's a party that I love being a part of. So that's all.
It's a party which never fails to surprise us, no?
Yes,
doesn't
yes,
it?
yes.
So, and things are going to get only more interesting and exciting here on. But
Absolutely.
in the midst of all this, I lost track of time. Sorry, I borrowed 15 minutes of your extra time. I asked for 15 minutes of extra time, but I ended up taking a little bit more. But let me not disturb your schedule any further. So last words from you before we wrap up this very, very interesting and engaging session. Staying with you, Padmaja, pushing the boundaries as professionals who are women and pushing the boundaries in technology in 20 seconds.
Be firm, be decisive, learn and implement.
Great. Shweta, to you.
Break the barriers. Keep the child in your life so that you're more inquisitive. Always learn for new technologies and just go and do it.
Indeed. Well said there. Angelin?
Innocence is bliss. So do not shy away from, oh, I am being innocent or ignorant. Sometimes it helps you. So ignore the noises around on this all biases and so on, but focus on your goals.
And last but not the least, Rucha.
Thank you. So as I already, speak up when uncomfortable. I think that's how you break the barriers. Be a lifelong learner, especially in tech space, but don't forget to be a human. We are coming to a point where that is, becoming a challenge. So, always keep learning and be yourself.
So well said by all of you, and that also makes my job easier to conclude this webinar commemorating the 2025 International Women's Day. And you know what, also as a father of a girl child, there's so much that I have taken from your I've benefited from your very candid thoughts and your perspectives, which I'm going to share, of course, with my child, who is also a representative of the next generation, right? So may there be more leaders who are women, and may there be more innovation in the industry led by women professionals. So on that note, thank you very much for your time, for your participation. And once again, sorry if I disturbed your schedule, any of your schedules, but I'm sure it was a very, very fruitful experience for all of you, and also for the attendees. To the attendees, thank you very much for locking in to this webinar commemorating International Women's Day. On that note, once again, thank you very much on behalf of ET Auto. Take care. Goodbye.